And amongst the 50,000 troops who were taken, there was all sorts of men from the theatrical world. There was doctors, there were plumbers, there was all sorts of trades, every trade you could mention. So we got by, and the artists, the actors, formed a theatre group called Chungkai Theatre, and we built a stage there and put on quite a few shows, produced by a former professional from London called Leo Britt. He was a magician. He was great. He had wonderful memory of the scripts of the shows that he'd been in, and they used to produce shows like Night Must Fall and variety shows where people who carried the trumpet or the violin flew with them up and down the railway could perform from time to time. So things became a little bit lighter then, but of course they still had 50,000 less the people who died working the railway, which meant it was about 15,000 had died, and their graves are in Chungkai or at another place nearby called Kanchanaburi. And there's about 7,000, 8,000 in each. Every day was a trial of willpower. You had to have the will to live, otherwise you fell by the wayside. It was so easy to capitulate in those days. They decided that there were too many men for the work they had in Thailand, which comprised building airstrips and things like that, building roadways and things like that. And in consequence, a lot of people were moved from the railway project to Japan and Taiwan and places like that to work in the mines. Fortunately, I escaped any of those and remained in Thailand building airstrips. And a lot of the ships were sunk on the way to Japan, and in consequence, I was lucky, very lucky in that respect, building airstrips, as I say. The last airstrip I helped to build was in a place called Phetchaburi, which is in the southern part of Thailand. And we just finished it in July 1945 when the Japanese surrendered. And the first airplanes on the runway were our own Dakotas from Rangoon, which had brought in supplies, food supplies, and were taking us, who were comparatively fit, from the Phetchaburi airstrip to Rangoon. And then from Rangoon, the next trip was on the SS Corfu, a ship that got us back to Southampton via the Suez Canal, the Mediterranean, and we were back into Southampton in 8th of October 1945. We were free men then. A joyous day, and one I shall never forget. It's difficult now to describe the horrors of it and the injustices of it all. And after all, we were helping the Japanese war effort. We shouldn't have been doing that at all, of course. That made nothing to the Japanese. They want to get into Burma, they want to take India if they could, but they didn't get so far. I'm 99 now, and I've been very lucky. But I always looked after myself. Even as a prisoner of war, I didn't do anything silly. And I got through it all right.